Hello everyone and welcome to another video with me, 320 SimPilot, and today we're reacting to the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 showcase from the Xbox Game Showcase 2024. This includes the release date for this simulator, which is really exciting news. So it's coming not as far away as I perhaps thought, although we did know it was going to come in 2024, but we'll see that later on as we go through the trailer. I'm going to react to it, give you some of my thoughts and opinions and impressions based on my experience as a real-world airline pilot and also my time, my many hours in Microsoft Flight Simulator and making videos with it and tutorials as well, as comparing it to my X Plane time as well. So Xbox and Asobo Studio, so as we would expect, it should work with Xbox controllers, and I will be stopping as we go through, so do please watch the trailer first yourself, otherwise this could get frustrating, but I'm going to just stop and talk as we go through. So here we are, Monument Valley in Utah. Absolutely fantastic. It looks glorious. Some interesting lighting going on. We've got a lower level perhaps of mist or humidity in the lower levels. That's very cool. So I think they've done a good job there. But most importantly, look at this foreground. The detail on these rocks and the shrubbery around it seems to have been brought up a notch over what we had before. That's going to be really interesting to see if that applies everywhere or just where they have worked on areas, because Monument Valley is obviously a specific site to see. Beautiful though, absolutely beautiful. Powered by satellite data and Azure AI. So they're very keen, of course, to get the word AI into everything these days. So in all fairness, though, Microsoft Flight Simulator had AI in the loading screen before it became such a buzzword this last couple of years. But there we go. Looks absolutely glorious. Again, the detail and the texturing they've got on the ground here. I mean, the obstacles look fantastic as they did before. So the texturing on the ground looks absolutely fantastic, as it always has looked good on these objects that they've added in, but to have this everywhere, really amazing. So yeah, this is a very cool place. I have been here to Monument Valley. It's really cool. I can recommend it. Glorious. Yeah, can't argue with that. Satellite data, they must aim for high resolution. Here's the air racing. So we did know the air racing was coming. It's cool to see it in a bit more action, and especially to see it in Monument Valley, which I don't think is a traditional place to have air racing. Or maybe this can't be actually in Monument Valley itself. This might be nearby. Although that looks like the main car park and an event area. No, that is Monument Valley. So yeah, perhaps some new locations for it to try and get you to see more of the world. They're very proud of Monument Valley, clearly. Blame them. So here we go into commercial aviation. If you remember, the original trailer for Flight Simulator 2024 focused heavily on the helicopters, the rescue, and the missions. We know that they're trying to give us more things to do in the simulator to give us a reason to be flying. So I actually think that's a great idea. I think having more missions is good fun. One of my favorite add-ons for Flight Simulator X was Air Hauler, which was a cargo operations program that would give you routes and you'd earn more money and then you could buy new planes and so on. So I'm hoping they could bring that, like a bit of a career, a bit of a continuity into it. Also, here we have an A330, clearly an A330. Looks very nice. Nice texturing. Details, such as having the cowls on and so on, the covers, that's new. We don't tend to see that in default Flight Simulator aircraft. I mean, this looks a step up over anything we've had before. You can even see where the jetty attaches around the doors too, because on long-haul aircraft, it's usually doors too. So there you go. So that all looks absolutely lovely. Even covers on the pitos and statics. So I'd be curious to see the level of detail we're now going to get out of that. Out of this default aircraft. I mean, look at that, glorious. Scratches, texturing, more removable flight flags. Very rare, by the way, on a commercial airliner to see removable flight flags. You wouldn't expect no pilot's going to walk out to an A330 and find the cowls on, because that's going to be a big job to get it ready to fly. There tends to be a risk analysis, and it tends to lean in favor of, unless you're in an area where there is particular problems like dust, insects, and that sort of thing. If you're in a less or an area without those sort of aspects to it, then you would tend not to have to cover the pitos. The risk analysis would suggest that covering them is more likely to leave a cover on than it is to actually have something block the pito. But there we go. It's just showing us the detail they're going for, though, I think. Here we have the beloved FCU and EFIS control for the Airbus. This is an A330 cockpit, as we've just seen. It is an A330 outside, and you can tell by these landing gear being in this triangle formation, one of the few differences. Look at this, though. We've got some really nice scratches, texturing, finger marks around these controls, and the paint has even worn off as well. So this is, again, a real step up. The A320neo default for Microsoft Flight Simulator was basically unusable at launch. It wouldn't even fly straight. You couldn't land it without it banking. I couldn't use it for streams or anything. But this, I mean, if the detail they've gone to in this cockpit is hopefully a good sign for what we can expect from the airplane in the simulator. Fantastic. fantastic. Jetty, and then we have EFB already up and running. So yeah, everything looks absolutely brilliant, doesn't it? The texturing. This is clear that they're making a statement that this airplane is going to be a serious machine to operate. And away you go. Slightly disappointing. I mean, it's clearly out of trim. That tailplane looks at a slightly funny angle there, but there we go, and away it goes. So looking good, looking very good. So yeah, this is clearly a focus on this being a detailed A330 coming. We've got, just as a summary, we've got the removable flight tags and everything on the outside, which is just a level we don't normally see with default. We've got this beautiful interior cockpit. I mean, these are always worn out. This is a great touch because these are the most used switches probably in the airplane, especially the range ring, always being flicked around. And then we've got the detail on the outside. We've got the jetty marks as well. So yeah, and this is a 330 again because we've got the handle here. So clearly the highly detailed 330 is coming. Maybe this is Aerosoft's, I don't know, or maybe it's included. Now, this is slightly concerning to me. Let me just check that this shot is indeed moving. Yes, so this is a takeoff shot. The airplane is rotating, but the interior isn't moving with it. And the thrust levers are back at idle. And there is even a caution up here, takeoff. I can't quite read that on my laptop, but they're probably saying speed's not set, takeoff speed's not set. They have got some flaps out. Anyway, my reason for concern is this looks good that we have ECAM cautions and so on, because it suggests, again, this is a detailed add-on, which I think, or aircraft, maybe it's included, but it's clearly detailed. So that's great news. What bothers me is that I'm worried that there won't be a replay tool. Now, we'll give them some time, but I really, really want them to include a native, really well-functioning replay tool. I can understand replays can't always work with aircraft that use their simulator or functions outside the simulator, but I really want it to work inside. If the airplane is all based in Microsoft Flight Simulator or a default aircraft like hopefully this will be, then I want it to work, please, with a replay. It's such an important part of Flight Simulator. Everybody loves replays. Everybody loves watching a nice landing or a nice takeoff. Why wouldn't you? And as a content creator, it's so incredibly valuable to me as well. I really would love to see that. But yeah, this does not suggest that this was done using a replay like that. Certainly not the controls moving. Anyway, there it goes. Rear aviation. So we knew that they were going to bring this sort of stuff, that focus for us into the simulator, and this looks like this is where we're headed. So here we have Uluru in Australia, and more air ambulance work, which we saw in the original trailer as well. Brilliant fun, really remote stuff, and again, trying to get us out into the world to see different places. So flying around the outback in Australia is going to be an amazing experience, I'm sure, because that's Microsoft Flight Simulator's biggest asset, isn't it? The world that it's created, and they just need to drive us around and give us a motivation to go where, because how can you choose where to fly when you have a hangar full of airplanes in the whole world? You end up missing out on so much. I love the splash screens in Microsoft Flight Simulator's loading screens, but I never know where they're taken, so I don't know how to go there and see them. So I think this could be really good fun. PC-12 or similar turboprop single engine, really nice, powerful, popular airplane, so that could be really good fun. Good flexibility for doing a lot of different flying. Also, just going back here, we have the clouds. They look a little bit similar to what we've got. I would like to see that improved slightly. I don't mind the clouds, but it's these bits you get here that always bother me slightly, just sort of wispy extra bits. I don't know. They always tend to look a bit out of place. Yeah, great to have missions. Now we're seeing people loading and in and out there. Now I'm hoping that this means that they will include that these animations, not just maybe there'll be cutscenes or something like that. That'd be really good. But I am, of course, most of my comments today are just hoping and speculating. We don't know yet. But yeah, if there's perhaps more drive in the missions other than just sort of loading up into the airplane and saying fly to here, mission done. Now this is cool, putting on the banner. This guy's looking it's very good. Now I think they're flying it the wrong way though, because of course I suppose they have to turn around. But that could be really good fun, couldn't it? Now let's have a look at this city. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 cities have always been fantastic. I'm expecting the same, especially from photogrammetry, but hopefully with high resolution and details. Look at the amount of traffic they've got going on, so this marine traffic. Now I have to turn traffic down. Performance is going to be a big part of this. How well will it perform? I have to turn traffic down on my computer. I have an i7-10700K and an RTX 3080, 32 gigabytes of RAM. Am I going to have to upgrade for this simulator? Well, if I want to keep making content on it, which I absolutely will, of course, then I'm probably going to have to look at something a bit faster and more powerful. because it is, of course, 4 years old now. But yeah, it's interesting to see this. However, this will run on Xbox, so how are they going to manage that? Because it'd be a shame if Flight Simulator X advertised and looked amazing at max settings, but no one could run it like that, or very few people could run it like that. So you had to turn everything down. So I don't want to have to turn off all this traffic and lose out on this experience of feeling life underneath you, because that'd be a big part of something like banner towing. Charter services, very cool airplane there. That, I believe, is the Cirrus jet. Sorry, that's the Cirrus Vision jet. There we go. Robinson helicopter. Now, we saw in the previous trailer the air tractor doing this, but there we have another helicopter doing it. So that's pretty cool. We're going to get to see both. What's really cool about that is, once again, and I was hoping this from the original trailer, that there's downwash, and so that it would affect the grass and the trees around you. And it looks like there it is. Look at that. Rescuing a sunken ship. I mean, that's a spectacular scene, isn't it? So this stuff could be really, really impressive to do. Look at the scenery. Look at the water, the texturing on the water now. This appears to be a step up over what we've seen before. Microsoft Flight Simulator's water has always been fantastic on the oceans, but I had a slight issue with it where if you didn't have enough waves, it could start to go a little bit grid-like. You could see a pattern in it. So hopefully that's improved, but this looks gorgeous. Yeah, we've seen the sky crane already, and it looks amazing. So the opportunities of doing heavy cargo transport and the different missions you could do with that, absolutely amazing. Again, look at that city in the background. Is the detail more? I mean, it looks incredible, the amount of detail they're fitting in, but it already does look great. So I'm imagining it's similar. But look at that square down there. I mean, this is amazing stuff. Really amazing. Now, the A400, I'm really, really excited for this. This is a fantastic machine, capable of short takeoff, landing, rough airfield, military aircraft, of course. If you've ever seen one display, really amazing to see in the air. Noisy, fast. You can actually hear them. It's one of the few airplanes I can hear as it flies overhead in the cruise. It's very noisy, very distinctive sound. So it can go very high. I mean, it's fast for a turboprop. It's not obviously fast for a jet aircraft. But yeah, landing out in these different parts of the world, as I said earlier, could be really good fun. And again, having that focus to take you around the world. Beautiful. So what have we got here? Remote cargo ops looks glorious. A400 looks fantastic. I was a bit concerned from the previous trailer. They showed us the A400 in a slightly less state, but now it's looking really detailed. So that's great. Nice texturing up here. Yeah, I think I was worried it was a bit simple, but actually it looks like they've done a really nice job with it. Then we got water dropping from the air tractor. We've seen it from the cannon there in the previous trailer, so that's cool. We're going to have different airplanes doing similar style missions, so hopefully that will mean we see different variety inside the same sort of career. If you wanted to do a career in firefighting, that would be cool. Hopefully they do something like that. Great animation on the water. It looks glorious. Again, we'll see how the performance needs to be. Very dangerous job, this firefighting. Now they focus on the natural world of it. So we've got the this cub landing, and then this, which now mud, fantastic. Is the mud going to build up naturally as you fly through muddy areas? Are airplanes going to get dirty now? I really hope so. That would be amazing. But even if it's just in these missions, good fun, but I hope it's normal. I hope if you land outside of a mission, this would happen. Also, this camera effect, this gives me hope, please, that they can provide a replay tool or something for us to photograph and see this from the outside, because the camera system currently it's just such a shame. Without the replay, we can't get to enjoy it to the same level, but still very cool. And then animals and fauna. Now, we do have animals in the simulator, in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, but you know, are these just going to be a bit more natural, a bit more scattered about? Are there going to be more of them? Let's hope so. Used to be animated, even his ear. And then we have a very strange machine. Look like a powered hot air balloon, perhaps. Paris, looking stunning. The cities with photogrammetry, as I said, always have. But look at these patches of mist lower down, or haze lower down. Very cool. It looks brilliant. Again, more animations. We're seeing a lot more animations from the pilots and the characters and the animals in it, so maybe they're going to be upgraded. We knew the airship was going to be here, so the lighting of this city, by the way, Rio here, looks incredible. So perhaps the night lighting's been improved a bit, because that's stunning, absolutely stunning. And then, yeah, flying around an airship, how's that going to be? Not something we see very often. And here we have sort of swampland. Amazing. This is going to be really fun. With what looks like a crocodile. Is that sitting there? Yeah, a couple of crocodiles. So yeah, this is cool. Is it a crocodile? I'm not sure, but still, with a float plane, twin otter clearly, so that's cool. We've had the Aerosoft twin otter. Maybe we're going to get a default one in this simulator. So much. They fit so much into this trailer. We've got towing. Mountains again, the resolution on the side of the mountains in particular seems to have improved. Absolutely amazing. Again, will the performance of my computer be able to handle it? And most people's computers, that's going to be the mission here. The Xbox can do it, but was this filmed on an Xbox? Hard to say. Towing, gliders, classic mission item, really good fun. Should be nice and relaxing, and again, a nice way to enjoy these areas. Landing on these remote outposts in these cool little helicopters, very cool. So lots of new machines in this simulator, clearly. And we're back in the fighter jet. So we've seen the A-10 in the previous trailer. So A-10 Warthog, and then here we are clearly back in an F-18. So we have the F-18 already in 2020. Here it is again. Auto gyro racing, I suppose. Could be good fun. Another new machine. Auto gyros are very interesting. So really good fun to see those. Something else to try out. Fantastic. So something that's cropping up a lot is the detail on the ground, like from the opening part of the trailer. It just looks like the texturing and the rocks and so on are another level. Here we have water on the windscreen with the humidity. It looks a bit warm as well, actually, a bit of sort of evaporation. So that looks really nice. And fantastic hot air balloon. So we saw our first little taste earlier, but look at that. The lighting, the bloom, the glow inside. I've been in a hot air balloon once in my life. I don't know if I'll do it again. It wasn't necessarily for me. It was surprisingly, I found it quite terrifying, but that was just me. I'm not very good with heights, quite common in pilots, but there we go. Beautiful, beautiful background. So we can see the Milky Way up here. That's fantastic. We can also see that this is clearly Africa, Savannah sort of area. So if you're just drifting over, that could be stunning. How are they going to create a mission out of that? I don't know, but can you just load up in a hot air balloon and fly it around? I wonder. How do you steer it? I know they can release air, but I don't know if they can release it in the right direction, you know. And here we have more wildlife, giraffes. The sky has some more colors in it that I haven't seen in Microsoft Flight Simulator before. So we've got these pinks and purples now, which are, so there's obviously the sunrise and sunset are the most amazing bits, and this looks like a really, really nice one. So yeah, exciting. See the river reflecting down here as well. Amazing. So there we go, answer the call. November 19th, 2024. There it is. Not long. It's coming to Xbox Series X and S and Steam, so it will be on both Xboxes, which is amazing. I wonder how it's going to look, and I wonder what PC we're going to need to run it. But let's just go through these last few items. So rain effects, we've already got them. They look improved, certainly. And another new airplane. Again, we're seeing some of these extra colors. There's sort of the blues coming into the lighting. Fantastic. I mean, look at that. That looks really cool. What an interesting machine as well. Great to have some different airplanes. They've been so good at Asobo and Microsoft Flight Simulator in general. For the sheer quantity and variety of airplanes we've had for this simulator has been, I think, unrivaled, especially at the quality that they've been. Not all amazing, but lots of them just a great way to try out something different. Now here we have the Northern Lights, glorious, Aurora Borealis. And I have seen this flying. I have seen it like this flying as well. Since I've gone long haul, I've had the opportunity to get closer to it than I ever thought I would, and it does sometimes just fill the sky, and you can see it even with the sun rising and setting. Sometimes it gives this glorious effect between the two, just amazing, and it does move like it does here with that sort of glittering. That's a fantastic representation. Now it comes back to a lot of things like the animals and the mud. Is this a mission-based event, or is this a weather-based event, or is this going to be something that could just happen in the simulator at any point, randomly, or as part of its understanding of what's going on in the real world? I don't know. That's what we'll have to see. Beautiful, though. Now, there we go. So I am incredibly excited for this. It's easy to forget that Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 is not called Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. It is just Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Sorry, it is just Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is now 2024. So that's going to be, it's just interesting that that's how they're going to do it. Not number 2, not anything. They're going back to how we had it before, which is just the year of release. So very excited. It looks absolutely fantastic. It's coming out late this year, but I'm hoping that date won't slip anymore, because it's not that far away, and they're being quite public with it. So I'm optimistic that we will see it then, and certainly they're going to want it out before Christmas. I am very excited. Lots of great things in there. I think the missions and the focus on letting us see more of the world is going to be a really good way to get us to enjoy this simulator. So yeah, I'm excited for it. We will of course be covering it on the channel, and as well lots of big things coming up for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 to cover. So do please subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see those. Live streams will be coming on this. We'll be flying those missions, flying those airplanes. So yeah, we'll see you again in the future. Please keep safe and well. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.